What's up, guys? It's your boy Big Dave. I'm coming at you with my predictions for UFC Fight Night Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley, taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're not at the Apex, which means the UFC kind of tried, which is, always nice. And as I say that, I already contradict myself with the first fight of the night. We got Vanessa Demopoulus versus Jamie Lyn-Horth, and I couldn't think of a more uninteresting fight. And I'm going to go Jamie Lyn-Horth. I think she's bigger. I think she's going to have a strength advantage. I don't see Demopoulus out grappling her, although Horth has some questionable takedown defense. I think it's held up very well, and I don't think Demopoulus is the kind of wrestler that's going to be able to get her off her feet. I think Horth is nasty in the clinch. I think she's got a really strong upper body. She's not the fastest, but she's principled, and she has a game plan, and I can just see her outstriking Demopoulus, outdoing her in the clinch, and negating all of the grappling offense of Demopoulus. And so I'm going to go Jamie Lyn-Horth by decision. Moving up, we got Phillip Rowe versus Ange Loosa. So Ange Loosa is a kickboxer. Defensively, he looks really good. Like, when you see his movement, you see his feints, and you see his defense. He's very smooth. But when it comes to his offense, I've noticed his punching form's a little weird. I feel like he doesn't really get his hips into his punches as well. He's more of an arm puncher. He'll kind of just throw, and he's got really big arms, so maybe he still can pack some power that way, but yeah, he doesn't seem to like losing control. Like, he wants everything to be perfect. He doesn't overextend rarely. He doesn't really like leap into shots. He's more of a technical, precise kind of striker. And Phillip Rowe, very tall for the division, very good 1-2, some decent grappling. He's liable to get a submission on the ground, but his output is very low. He doesn't always throw the most, and he can kind of allow opponents to build up a lead on him. And that's what I think is going to happen in this fight. I can see him hurting Ange Loosa and maybe putting him away, but Ange Loosa has been very durable and very tough. And I just think he's going to be able to put combinations on it and keep the pace high, use takedowns if he starts getting pressured. Maybe not get Rowe down, but at least threaten the takedowns and use those to set up punches. And yeah, I just think he's a more complete fighter. So I'm going to go Ange Loosa, and I'm going to go by decision. Moving up, Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman. This is a short notice fight for Smotherman. It was originally supposed to be Ricky Simón versus Charles Jourdain, which I thought was going to be a great fight. And Cameron Smotherman, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. He's very well-rounded, but he is liable to get shocked early. Takes him a little bit to warm up into the fight. I believe he's the one who basically just put the pace on Jake Hadley and pressured him against the fence the whole time. But I don't think that's going to work against Ricky Simón. Ricky Simón, his last fight, I think, is going to give him a lot of confidence. That was a brutal knockout over Basharat. One-shot knockout, out cold. Reminded me too, of what Ricky Simón brings to the table, which is insane power for his size, very wide, very stocky guy, big speed, and great aggression when he's on. He had that tough fight versus Mario Batista, and then the next fight against Vinicius Oliveira. That wasn't a good look, and it was kind of like you were thinking, oh, what's going on with this guy? This isn't the Ricky Simón I know. But then he comes back and gets a huge knockout, and I think he's going to get another one. I think this is a tough fight for Smotherman to take on short notice, and I don't think he's just going to be able to keep Ricky Simón at the end of his shots, and I think Ricky Simón will use his leg kicks, use his level changes, and hopefully put together some good combinations and get a first-round TKO. So my pick is Ricky Simón by TKO. Moving up, Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Jose Ochoa is a rangy southpaw striker. He loves to keep distance. He loves to use kicks, and then occasionally come in with a big left hand and flurries of punches. He's got some good power, and he is a natural finisher. But he's only got 8 or 9 fights, and he's going against Cody Durden, who is a pressure boxer, grappler with questionable submission defense. But Durden's got over double the amount of fights he has, and also he has more losses. He has as many losses as Ochoa has wins, so that's never a good sign. Durden, I've picked him a lot. He's let me down quite a few times. I'm not gonna talk shit and say he let me down, but he's just so capable of being finished. Out of 7, he puts himself into harm's way all the time. Out of 7 losses, he's been finished 6 times. He's been knocked out. He's been submitted. Against Josh Van, he's landing shots, but then Van just starts overpowering him. That's like one of the only decision losses he has, by the way, which is crazy. And against Bruno Silva, he's fucking working Silva. He's landing shots. He's jabbing him. He's landing 1-2. He's putting pressure. He just gets hurt and finished. And, he's been submitted quite a few times to Gear Ulanbekov, who's built like Ochoa, was able to submit him. But I think Durden, if he doesn't get finished, I think he's a good fighter. And I'm going to trust him again. I don't know why, but I'm going to trust him again to be able to survive Jose Ochoa, put the pressure on him, and possibly win by decision. But he is liable at all times to just run into some crazy shot by Ochoa. So this is a tough one, but yeah, I'm going to go Cody Durden by decision. But if you're going to put money on this fight, I would say bet Jose Ochoa probably by knockout. I think that's his best bet. I think he can hurt Durden and steal rounds, but I think Durden is just more consistent, and I don't know how Ochoa reacts when someone just puts that kind of pace on him. So this will tell us a lot about Ochoa, but I'm going to trust Durden again. I'm going to pick him by decision. And by the way, sorry about my voice. I have some fucking severe allergies going on right now, so my nose is completely clogged up, and it sucks. Moving up, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho. Now, before I not shit on Moutinho, but give the prediction, shout out to Chris Moutinho for making it back to the UFC. He took a beating in both of his losses in the UFC to Sean O'Malley, which is, former champion, and then to Guido Canetti, which is a tough guy and a hard hitter. But, Moutinho's rattled off 5 wins since then. Almost all finishes, I believe. Not against like the highest UFC caliber, but the guy didn't give up, and he worked his way back to the UFC, and you got to respect that. However, he's fighting Malcolm Wellmaker, who is a fucking hard hitter. He is a beast. He is super slick. He's very calm on the feet. He's southpaw. He can go orthodox. One-punch knockout power. Just a really smooth guy. And I think Moutinho, he's going to try to put the pressure on him because if he stands out at the range, Wellmaker's going to take him out pretty quickly. But Moutinho's got a great chin. I don't think he's been really like KO'd out cold. He's more of a guy that you got to just beat to death, just keep hitting him until the ref stops it. But I think fighting a guy like Wellmaker with that kind of speed and timing, I think that's a bad game plan. So I'm going to go Cameron Wellmaker, and I'm going to go by first round knockout. Moving up, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. This is a tough one. Well, it's not a tough one, but I think for Chiesa, this could be a tough matchup because Court McGee, I remember watching him win the Ultimate Fighter a long time ago when I was like a teenager. And I was watching him on there, and I was like, there's no way this guy's going to win. He looked, you saw all these big monsters, and then just kind of Court McGee just kind of chilling there. And then he knocked out Brad Tavares on the show. So, of all the people to knock out Brad Tavares, you would not assume that Court McGee would be one of them. But, he's fighting Michael Chiesa, who's not known for just getting sparked out cold. Chiesa, you watch his last fight against Max Payne Griffin, and his striking just looks bad. If he could get a hold of you and start landing dirty boxing, that's when he's effective. But that's also where Court McGee is effective. Court McGee has made his living being a grinder, and Chiesa in his later career now has been using a lot more grappling to win fights. But that's going to be tough to do against Court McGee. Court McGee is, like I said, he's a grinder. He's a neutralizer. So trying to neutralize a neutralizer usually doesn't work. That's his game. But I think McGee's low output and just his typical boxing style, I think Chiesa's going to have a good game plan. I think he's going to be able to use kicks on the outside, time some good shots, and then just control McGee for portions of the fight. But McGee is a live dog in this fight, but I'm going to go Michael Chiesa by decision. Moving up, Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. I already predicted this one a while back, and I'm not going to really change my pick. I think Bellato's got the kind of game and grounded pound that if Paul Craig tries to play his submission game where, he sets up a submission, like tricky, he's got some very tricky shit off of the bottom. But I think he has really good posture and he has really good ground and pound. So Paul Craig, this could be a ground and pound knockout loss. But also, watching Bellato, I can see him falling for that Paul Craig magic. Paul Craig's going to stay on the outside. He's going to use good kicks. And Rodolfo Bellato is going to walk in very slow, very square. And he's open to get cracked, but I don't think Paul Craig has ever knocked anybody down with a punch. And I'm not going to pick him to start now. But Paul Craig's always a live dog. He's a finisher. So he can get a submission. But I'm going to pick Rodolfo Bellato. And I'm going to pick him by ground and pound TKO. And I have no clue when. Moving up, Alonzo Menefield versus Oumar Sy. This is an interesting fight. So you look at Oumar Sy, at least I did, and I was like, oh, this dude is going to be a nasty kickboxer. And then you watch him fight, and you're like, oh, he's a wrestler. And he'll shoot, and he's got an 83-inch reach, and he will shoot and take you down and grind you up against the fence, looking for submissions and looking for ground and pound. He is a control grappler. He's in the John Jones mold, big, rangy guy, but with great takedowns and very strong. He's fighting Alonzo Menefield, who admittedly hasn't really been controlled like that. He's a very powerful, stocky guy, very explosive on the feet. I think he's going to have the striking advantage over Sy. And I think he's a live dog. I don't think Oumar Sy should be that big of a favorite. I could be wrong. I think Menefield's a tank, man, but I'm going to trust Oumar Sy. Menefield just makes bad choices sometimes. And I think even if he's able to buzz Sy, he tries to rush in, Sy's going to just keep shooting these takedowns. And I don't think Menefield's got the cardio to outlast him. And Sy doesn't seem to have great cardio either. So this could be a very ugly fight. But I'm going to trust Oumar Sy to get this done by second round submission. But I'm not liking this. Menefield's a tough dude. He's really strong and very explosive. So we'll see. Well, this will show us how Oumar Sy's game is going to go forward. But yeah, I'm going to trust Oumar Sy. I'm going to trust him by second round submission. Moving up, Cody Brundage versus Mansur Abdul-Malik. Cody Brundage is a trip. He's fought a lot of beasts. He's lost a lot. He's won some fights. But he's fighting Mansur Abdul-Malik, who's a very powerful, strong guy with knockout power. And, Brundage is a live dog. He believes in himself, and he'll go out there and he'll just do his thing. But I don't think it's going to work against Mansur Abdul-Malik. I think if Brundage tries to wrestle him, I can actually see him ending up on the bottom, and getting wrecked. Not a whole lot to break down in this one. It's not going to be a very technical fight, but I'm going to pick Mansur Abdul-Malik, and I'm going to go by first round TKO. But, Brundage, he's not bad, man. He's not a bad fighter, so we'll see. He's a live dog. Moving up, Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. Ooh, man, I keep going back and forth on this one. So, on one end, Garbrandt looked really good. He's looked really good lately. He's still fast as hell. Good boxing, not good boxing defense. He still drops his hands. But, he's a very quick guy. He'll fight on the outside, dart him with some shots, and then I think he's going to have a huge speed advantage over Barcelos. Barcelos, his last fight against Peyton Talbot, he really just wrestle-fucked him the whole fight. Wrestled him down. His jiu-jitsu looked great. His transitions looked good. His timing, his setups, everything looked really good. And Garbrandt, when he got taken down by Davis and Figueiredo, you could see a jiu-jitsu, like he doesn't train jiu-jitsu a lot because he just kept giving his back. He has that wrestler mindset. Wrestlers love to go to their knees and get their base and start standing up. But if you do that against Barcelos, he will take your back. The thing is I don't think Barcelos got the same speed or strength as Davis and Figueiredo. I think he's getting a little older, so I don't think he's going to be able to submit Cody Garbrandt. But he can leg kick him maybe from the outside, hurt Garbrandt with some leg kicks, and if they start trading, Barcelos is a live knockout threat. But I'm going to trust Cody G, man. I'm going to trust Garbrandt. I think if he stays patient and he just uses a punch every now and then, does that stupid little low kick, sweeping low kick that he does, I actually kind of like it, but I don't think it's very effective. I think he can just outpoint Barcelos to a decision, possibly get a knockout here. If he stays smart and he doesn't get over aggressive and try to freaking brawl with Barcelos. So I'm going to pick Cody Garbrandt. I'm going to pick him by kind of slow-paced decision. But Barcelos is a dog, bro. And I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks out Garbrandt. But yeah, I'm going to go Cody Garbrandt by a decision. Moving up, Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Pretty easy fight to break down. Andre Petroski is going to go and try to be on the outside, lunge in with a shot, and then take Shahbazyan down. Shahbazyan is going to try to knock Petroski's head off and not get taken down. So this basically is, will Shahbazyan gas and get taken down and submitted, or will he be able to instantly take out Petroski? And I'm going to pick him to instantly take out Petroski. I think Petroski is a really big, strong guy for the division. Not big as in tall, but he's very wide. He's very bricked up. And his grappling looks nasty. He's very fucking strong. And his jiu-jitsu looks really good. But I think he's a liability on the feet. His defense is very poor. And his offense, he kind of just lunges in with his head straight up in the air. And against a guy like Shahbazyan, I think that's just setting him up for a knockout. So I'm going to go Edmen Shahbazyan, counter right hand knockout, first round. But if he doesn't knock out Petroski in the first round, you see him start breathing heavy. Petroski's a live dog, but he hasn't shown me that he's ready for an athlete like Shahbazyan. So, and also Petroski has been hurt quite a few times by jabs and a lot of stuff. It's just because he lunges in with his chin up in the air. So I'm going to pick Edmen Shahbazyan. I'm going to pick him by knockout. Moving up, Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. This is an interesting fight. Miranda Maverick, southpaw, decent kickboxing, very left-hand oriented. She'll use left kicks into the left punches. She'll double up her left hand. It's good movement on the outside, some decent grappling. But she's going against Namajunas. Rose hasn't looked the same at this division. She's at a bit of a size disadvantage. But I'm going to trust her to be able to outpoint Maverick, use her jabs, use her 1-2s, just be a little quicker. But Maverick can just, she's got dog in her. So she could just dog Namajunas. And this could be a big win. But I don't think Namajunas is that done yet. I don't think so. It's very possible she is. This is an interesting fight. Miranda Maverick's a live underdog, so I think you could get some good odds on her by decision. But I'm gonna trust Rose. I believe she's got the hype. She'll still have the judges thinking whatever she lands is bigger. And so yeah, I'm gonna go Rose Namajunas. I'm gonna go by decision, but it's an interesting one. Main event, we got Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, my contrarian, saw Usman as a huge underdog, and I was like, yo, I think Usman can beat Buckley. And then I went and watched some of his fights, and the speed is an issue. The takedowns aren't as dynamic as they used to be. He's still super physically strong, but so is Buckley. I believe he's going to have a size advantage over Joaquin Buckley. I think Buckley's going to have a dynamic and a speed advantage over Usman. I really like what Buckley's been doing. You know, he's a southpaw, but he's been working that body. He'll throw that right hook right to the body. He'll body, head. He'll do a high kick. I just think he's a tornado of different techniques. They don't always flow together the best, but he's so athletic that he can just get away with shit that most people can't. Like, he truly is athletically blessed. Like, it's insane. And so is Kamaru Usman, but in a different way. Usman's blessed with great durability, insane, like, strength and presence. He's one of those guys that you try to push him back, it's very hard. He's a wall of a human being. Yeah, 38 years old, though. So the wheels got to fall off eventually. Lost twice to Edwards. The second fight, you know, he just kind of got outworked from distance. A lot of kicks, ate a lot of kicks in that fight. Tried to take him down and really couldn't get anything going. And Joaquin Buckley's last fight against Kobe Covington, he actually didn't look that great. And in the third round, he got taken. Well, he did look good. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But in the third round, he was underneath Colby. And you know, Colby ended up getting, the ref ended up stopping it because of a cut. So we don't really know how Buckley would have fared in the fourth and fifth. But I'm going to trust him, man. I think he's a hard worker. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to gas in the fourth and fifth unless he hurts Usman and empties the gas tank. But I'm going to trust Joaquin Buckley here. You asked me this 2 years ago, I picked Usman all day, but I think Buckley's made some huge improvements. I've seen some interviews with him, which is rare for me. And I like the stuff he's saying, man. He's coming across as a very logical guy who's, you know, he's acknowledged, like, his losses. He's not making excuses. I think he can run into a jab and get rocked by Usman. Like, this could look very similar to the Usman versus Burns fight. So I think Usman's a live dog, and I think if you want to take a little risky bet, put some money on Usman by finish. Because I think he can take down Buckley if Buckley gets too tired and too overzealous and possibly lock up some sort of arm triangle submission. He's not a huge submission threat, but I know he's working on it. But Buckley, man, I'm going to pick the younger guy. I'm going to pick the athleticism, and I'm going to pick the mixing it up to the body, to the head, to the legs. And I think he's just going to outwork Usman, which is crazy. But this could look like the Colby versus Usman first fight, where Colby, you know, was just using a lot of output and a lot of tricks to kind of get Usman, who's a little slower and he doesn't have the best movement on the feet. And I think he could just use that to outpoint him. But, you know, keep your eyes open for that fourth and fifth round. Usman, we know, can go 5 rounds, and he'll retain power all the way to the 5th round. Buckley, we haven't seen that yet. So I'm taking a bit of a fly here, but I'm going to pick Joaquin Buckley, and I'm going to pick him by 4th round TKO. But this is a close fight. Honestly, it's a really good fight. So my picks are Jamie Lyn-Horth, Ange Loosa, Ricky Simone, Cody Durden, Malcolm Wellmaker, Michael Chiesa, Rodolfo Bellato, Oumar Sy, Mansur Abdul-Malik, Cody Garbrandt, Edmen Shahbazyan, Rowe Namajunas, and Joaquin Buckley. And yeah, those are my picks for a UFC Fight Night, Usman versus Buckley. Please like and subscribe. It really helps a lot for my videos. And I might do a little gambling breakdown later this week and try to pick some good odds. Even though I think gambling's bad, if you're going to do it, I'm going to at least try to help you not lose everything. So, yeah, those are my picks. I appreciate you guys for watching. And, yeah, take care.